The Pine Gulch fire began on July 31, 2020, from a lightning strike. The flames grew rapidly due to extremely dry fuels, wind gusts, and steep terrain. By August 3rd, when I arrived, residents of Grand Junction were getting concerned by the smoke plumes just 18 miles north of the city. That first morning, we saw 150-foot flames at 9 in the morning. This was obviously not going to be just another fire. Over 100 years of oak brush and decadent sage around structures required crews to uncover buildings literally buried in bone-dry fuels. As we worked, the fire was bearing down on us with increasing intensity.
Copy all, thank you.
The homeowners helped us out with a bobcat and a tractor to help move all the slash.
It was kind of wrapping around. We got a bit of time, we're headed down the bottom now.
Copy. It looks like it's still well up the hill, quartering to us, but not.
As far as getting the brush that we're setting back here.
Flammables like wood piles were broken up while all the slash was moved out into an open meadow. Another crew worked on the access road, removing sage and juniper to reduce the fire intensity.
Yeah, I'm coming towards you now.
Everyone worked as fast as they could, knowing they would not finish before the flames arrived. Helicopters wet down the green side of the road, as it looked like the fire was going to make a direct hit. Structures and adjacent grasses were wet down, and hand crews anticipated burning out a safety zone if necessary.
Hey, Bertha, if you can give us an idea of our water supply when it's necessary to overwork. Following in, right behind the ATV.
By this time, the ranchers had set up lawn chairs and sat back to watch the show.
And flying, you can knock this down.
A subtle wind shift kept the fire on the north side of the road, but it revealed to us the fury with which this fire would continue to spread for weeks. Crews moved on to house number 2, a more modern log cabin with the fire on the cliffs above. From this vantage point, lookouts could observe the access road and estimate the time before we would have to withdraw. Engine and hand crews burned around the structure to reduce fuels that might lead fire to it. The entire valley below exploded into flames, and everyone headed to an established safety zone. All structures survived as planned. Most resources moved on to structure cluster 3. More gamble oak had to be removed from the hill behind the structures. The view from the lookout spot had turned from green to black. On August 7th, as safety officer, I joined Division Alpha for a massive burnout to hold the fire from moving south toward Grand Junction.
Hey, Rob, it's Alpha. Go ahead. Yeah, if you're on map, I just read it. I'm going to drop the fiver of
Locals warned that the burnout would send too many firebrands across the road and we would be unlikely to hold it. But so far, it was going well. The wind had shifted from the northwest, and we caught a few spot fires before they could grow. We burned through day shift, and since our replacement resources had been called to other parts of the fire, we continued deep into the night. Efforts were made to knock down sparks from the gamble oak, as the wind was still not in our favor. At least at night we could see the sparks and where they were landing. At 2 a.m., we turned the corner to tie the fire into the black, finishing about 4 a.m.
Let's go ahead on the air to ground with their helicopter. We're going to use air to ground 268-300.
The next morning, the fire became active early.
I copy air to ground 2. Thank you.
Our burn from the night before was holding, and the fire was no longer moving southward. Unfortunately, it was now making a major push to the northwest. Dozers had pushed out safety zones, while helicopters fought to check the fire spread. I was moved to the west side of the fire, onto Division Delta. House Cluster 1 was mostly historic structures which had been renovated by the owner. Once again, thick Gamble oak was the enemy to be removed. Numerous engine crews spent a whole day preparing in case the fire should come this way. We thinned what we could. The fire was still miles away, and we hoped for the best. House Cluster 3 was mostly a water show. The helicopter dip site was at nearby Echo Lake.
Yeah, FIREM, the objective is delayed for this to come up.
Up on Garvey Road, hotshots and bulldozers prepared for a burnout operation. We all noticed the plume forming in the north from the burnout in Division Bravo.
Operation for the evening in Bravo, break. Everything went well. We had to shut down due to the time of night.
With Division Delta tied up with our burnout, I drove back to the access road to intercept night shift, who had not seen this area in the daylight. Members of the Baca Grande Fire Department were given a detailed briefing and headed up toward House Cluster 1.
Yeah, we did copy. We will be bumping down to the safety zone.
They started pumps feeding sprinklers and opened a 1,600-gallon cistern before moving to the safety zone.
Let's hope this wind keeps up. It'll protect the structure. We're blowing it all that fucking way. We already did. Cows are making a mad run. Get the fuck out of Dodge here.
The pump at House 2 refused to start.
It's 22:30, coming up 11 o'clock at night. Fired pumps up at the first structure, took off, left it on its own, hope it stays. We'll see. Working on getting this one ready to fire. We got fire circling around us now, so we're gonna ride it out. When that pump doesn't want to start. And that pump wouldn't have done nothing anyways. This thing hit so fucking hard and fast.
Yeah, the wind is too high.
That structure's gone.
Hey, Pat. Yeah, let's just mobilize all that heavy equipment that you got checked in.
Crews worked deeper behind Structure 3 to avoid a repeat of the night before. The fire had looped around behind Structure number 3 and brought big rocks down in the road.